Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out another Hecate speaker from Edifier. And if you're into building a gaming rig and don't want to splurge too much on your speaker that has RGB and good sound, then this speaker is definitely for you. So let's check it out.
You said that you've been lonely, makes you cold as ice. Hard to get to know me, but better than the lies. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. You said there ain't no reason, but I'll sit here every day, waiting for the moment.
So the Hecate G1500 Max today was sent over to me by Edifier for a review, and this is not a sponsored post, and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So there are two models of the Hecate G1500 series from Edifier, the G1500 as well as the G1500 Max. And the non-Max version is a simple 2.0 speaker, and the Max is a 2.1 setup with a subwoofer. And the Max retails for about 399 Malaysia ringgit or about 149 US dollars, but you can get them now discounted at about 200 Malaysia ringgit. So if you're interested in getting them, do check out my links in the description below. So the G1500 is Hecate's line of budget-friendly gaming speakers, and is targeted to gamers who has a smaller size rig or desk because there is one limiting factor for these speakers, and it's the cable. So before we get to that, the speakers here are designed like an edgy gaming speaker. So the design language here is very cyberpunk, where you get this hexagonal shape where the entire speaker is mostly made of plastic. So the biggest statement of this speaker is definitely the RGBs on the satellite of the speakers, and what I like about them is that they are very subtle. Although they are edgy and give you that gaming vibe, but Edifier didn't overdo it with some ridiculous design, so the look you get here is just right. And the front of the speaker is a nice fine metal mesh that protects the speaker drivers inside, and at the bottom of the speaker is the Hecate branding. On the right satellite unit itself, you're going to get several buttons here. So you get a power or mode switch to swap between the different input sources, a volume rocker, as well as a G button for you to switch between the different sound modes, and also toggle the different RGB effects. And at the back of the speaker, it's very basic, and everything is basically connected out of the box, and this is where you can see the budget aspect of this speaker. So there is nothing for you to connect out of the box between the satellite speakers, and there's two bad things about these connectors. So firstly, if the cable get damaged, you don't get to replace them. Unlike typical speaker units where it's connected by the red and black speaker cables. Secondly, the cable is only 1 meter long, so it's long enough if you want to put it directly next to your monitor, but if you have a larger desk like mine over here and want to put the speakers at each end of the desk, then you're out of luck. So for me, I have to actually put it closer together so that I don't have that wire stretching too much. So to connect and power the speakers, you connect them directly to the subwoofer via a satellite speaker interface, and the woofer is then connected to the power source. So the subwoofer unit is made entirely of a wooden cabinet, and you get a 4-inch downward firing sub here with the reflag port at the bottom to give you a cleaner look. You also get an RGB light bar on the subwoofer itself, and the colors are also synced to the speaker units. So at the back of the speaker, you're going to get a power button, a bass adjustment knob, an auxiliary input port, and also a Type-C connector to use this speaker in USB mode. So volume on this speaker is loud, but it's not the loudest speaker of this caliber, and you can actually hover around max volume or 90% if you actually want to get some loud audio. However, you do get to about a decent volume at about 50%, and for me, I put the subwoofer on the ground for maximum bass response, and I also would crank the bass knob to maximum to actually get some decent pump. So, but all in all, for its price and considering this is a smaller gaming setup, I think the volume is decently good. So just so you know, 90% is actually plenty loud for a small room, and 100% is actually very loud. But the problem is that you have to hover around that high range of volume all the time. So the first key feature of this speaker is definitely the multi-input connectivity, and it's not common to see a speaker with so many connectivity options, especially at this price point. What you're going to get here is a Bluetooth 5.3 connectivity, an auxiliary input if you have a 3.5mm wired input for your device, and also a USB-C input, which for me will be connected permanently to my monitor. So this speaker is also an active speaker which comes with its own amp, so you don't necessarily need to worry about having separate amps to drive the speaker. It's meant for it to be a simple setup that sits next to your desk, and you don't have to worry about complicated setup. So in terms of the speaker setup, you're getting dual 2.5-inch dynamic drivers on the satellite speakers, and as mentioned earlier, a 4-inch subwoofer for the Max model. So you're not going to get any tweeters or separate tweeters here. And finally, these speakers are not heavy, coming in at 2.6 kilos, including the subwoofers. So where this speaker really shines is with the sound signature, and then again, this speaker don't sound like your high-end Audio Pro speakers, but honestly, for a mere 200 ringgit, what you're getting here is actually very finely tuned Edifier sound signature, and thanks to the subwoofer on the Max model, you're actually getting decent bass performance. So compared to even speakers that cost 4 to 5 times its price, the Hecate G1500 Max even beats out the sound quality of the Kanto U2, which has similarly sized speaker units, and at 4 times the price, the Kanto actually lacks a subwoofer to give you that low rumble. So speaking of the subwoofer, the bass performance of the Edifier gives you a nice dynamic hit, but this is only achieved if you place the subwoofer on the ground and maxing out the bass knob. So you're going to get a decent bass punch, nothing too powerful like your 10-15 inch woofers, but you need to set your expectation right, since this woofer is pretty small, but again, for its size, you actually get a fairly impressive thump. So mids and highs are also very properly controlled, and it is very typical Edifier tuning, so you're getting very beautiful vocals here that sounds clean and non-recessed. So you don't get a tweeter unit on the speaker as mentioned to drive additional highs, but what the dynamic driver puts out here is actually very impressive and clean considering its size. So like I've mentioned, the only downside of this speaker is the volume, and to extract proper bass with this speaker, you need to actually go past the 60 to 70% volume mark to actually get something thumping.
You said that you've been lonely, makes you cold as ice. Hard to get to know me, but better than the lights. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. You said there ain't no reason, but I sit here every day, waiting for the moment I won't feel like I should stay. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. Can we walk to fade away? Can we let it fade away? We'll take it day by day. Can we walk to
So not everyone wants to spend a fortune on speaker units for their gaming rig. Sometimes it's better to put that budget into a better graphic cards or more RAM. So for something that may not be on the priority list when building out a gaming rig, I think the performance to price point of this speaker definitely provides you with the value that you're looking for in a gaming speaker. So definitely worth checking out. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.